Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. How do you like this new look? This is a beautiful necklace and earrings that a really nice subscriber sent to me, Julie. I want to say thank you so much, Julie. She was also the lady who sent me the bulbs and a nice beautiful letter. And I wanted to just say thank you and hello to you and your grandson. I wanted to also bring out the beautiful vintage dress that Princess Beatrice wore on her wedding. And it just is very simple. It was originally the Queen's for another engagement that she had, and Beatrice wore it for her wedding, and I just thought that was just so nice. And you have to appreciate someone who wants to use something that was used once by another family member. It kind of has that nostalgia behind it, and it's kind of going back to a different era and time and revamping that style, and it just looked beautiful. And I just wanted to congratulate the beautiful royal couple. We know Princess Beatrice, she had to postpone her wedding twice, and through it all, you never heard any, stories behind it, because I think when you're someone like Beatrice and you can appreciate where you come from and the privilege that you do have, you kind of take a step back and you just kind of let that kind of stuff fall off by the wayside and just count your blessings and know that things will work themselves out. It's no use getting your panties all up in a bunch because you just don't get to have your wedding when you originally wanted to have your wedding. And I think she has carried herself with such grace and elegance, and you just gotta love it. And I wanted to mention something also that Lady C spoke about when she talked about how Kate and William they're just getting on with doing their duty and making their impact with the people in the country and really making a difference in a very quiet, simple, I think, elegant way. They're so quiet that it is loud, powerful, if you know what I mean by that. They're not all in your face trying to show that, oh, we're doing good and trying to put it in people's face. They're really out there doing what they know to be important work and not being controversial and just maintaining that we have a job to do, we're going to do our job, and we're not going to make a big huff over it and look to find other ways to make ourselves more important while trying to do this good work that's really just to help them in their personal lives. That's not them at all. And you have to respect it. It's self-sacrificing. And then I also wanted to mention that I had someone also send me some information about Queen Elizabeth at 90, and it was these home videos that were shared with the Queen, her husband, William and Harry, Sarah, the daughter of Princess Margaret, and a few other cousins of the Queen. And it was so nice to see all these home movies, things I had never seen before, and just watching the royal family talk about their lives in the earlier years. And they look so happy and just really like regular people, and we know they are regular people, but because of the position and how we usually see them, we don't get to see the side of them as being just a family who was just out on a picnic or outside playing. We don't get to see that side, and to see that really brought in a connection for me to the family. And it also made me look at them like, dang, you privileged. I mean, the outside area where they would play was just like these big yards, a beautiful lawn, and the kids were always so nicely dressed, and they had these home movie cameras that they were very expensive at the time. They also had these memories from so many years ago, and you would have to have some kind of money to be able to have those memories to hold on to, because I mean, most of us back in, like my mom, who was born in the 50s, would not have been able to afford a camera to have home movies, but just how nice that would have been to see photos of myself as a young girl growing up, and my mom as a young mom. It would have been so nice to see. And I just kept thinking about how the lineage of the royal family, how there's these years of tradition, and there's all these people within their family. And then I thought about how disruptive Harry and Meghan were to this family that has been going on for hundreds of years, and how people have just been brought into this lifestyle that they've embraced and have held on to in a way to also give back and to represent something bigger than who they are as a people. And we know we've had some hiccups within the family, but the consistency and the way that this has been passed on from generation to generation, it really gives you an appreciation for this monarchy. And I had to really look at what Harry was saying, because if you listen to what he was saying when he was pre-Meghan and talking about the Queen and talking about the things that you would think he would have remembered, it's a completely different Harry than the one in this documentary. So, and I'll play that right now.
I still view her more as the Queen than my grandmother. It gets hammered into, not hammered into you, but you have this huge amount of respect for your boss, and I always view her as my boss, but occasionally as a grandmother. And the more grandmother bits, the more I can get advice and suck all that information out of her, and all that experience that she's had for so long. Apart from happy birthday, I would say thank you so much for showing us the way. Thank you for your service and dedication to the country, to the Commonwealth. Yeah, I would say thank you.
Now, all I got to say is, where'd that Harry go? Where did that Harry go? Because that surely is not the Harry we see today. It is not. He is talking about things that he has thrown out the window, having a sense of duty and all of that. Like, he doesn't even recognize the facts of the work that his queen mama has been doing for all these years. It's like Meghan came along. He's like, grandmama who? Like, he don't even get it. He literally does not get it. And he's saying all of these things. And and this is what makes Harry so shallow, is that he can do a documentary and he can say all these things that sound really nice. But when push came to shove, when it came time to really hold up to your honor, to really, believe in the words and the things that you have said about your grandmama, you don't even recognize that you are now upholding the things that you once believed. So it seems very false. It seems not real. It seems like he doesn't have the moral compass that he thought he did by saying the things that he once said about his grandmama. And for me, I look at Harry and I think, you've lost your way. You've lost your way. And this is part of one of the biggest learning by experiences that Harry is going to face in his life, because it's going to be a big one. He is going to be learning in a very, very big way. But going back to this documentary that was on Amazon Prime, I really did enjoy it. I wanted to thank the lady who had recommended it to me. I really gave me a new insight and perspective about the monarchy. And it just makes all the things that Meghan has injected into this institution so much more wrong, because she is literally taking the years of duty and dedication to serving the people of the UK via this crown, the monarchy, and she is essentially spat on it. And she said, I don't care what you about, I'm about me. Now, I'm American. Give me what I want. I don't care about your monarchy and your crown. And, you know, there are a lot of things that go on in institutions and organizations that if we knew the backside of a lot of things that we see, we will find a lot of things as a little kind of shady. Like, really, really? But I look at it like this. We're always a work in progress. We're always trying to be better. Just keep going, make your mistakes, acknowledge, but try to be better and try to get to a place where you're evolving into more of a better version of yourself, whether it be a person or an organization or whatever, an institution. We're constantly honing ourselves to learn and to have knowledge and to make choices with that knowledge and to see how we can evolve. And I think that the monarchy, the crown, and everything that Queen Elizabeth has stood for has evolved in something very beautiful and very honorable. And the dedication that the Queen has served her whole life. Like I said when I did my videos, many video vlogs ago, I'll never forget when she was a young 20-something young girl just saying, serving as your queen, whether my life be long or short, she was always going to be the queen and, give her best. And she has upheld that through all this time. And you've got to respect that. No matter if you like what she represents or stands for, you gotta give a person their props. When they, at a young age, said, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and years later, they have done X, Y, and Z. You gotta respect that. And that's what is so shameful for someone like Meghan Markle can bring her Americanism into this institution and take her selfishness and just inject it in such a negative way on top of this institution that this lady has represented her whole life and dedicated her whole life to, and not respect that. And it's like a slap in the face to sit there in that Oprah interview and say, but the Queen was great. But, they was mean to me. They didn't want to get me mental health, or, they have parties for the tabloids and y'all mean, you monarchist people. Oh, but the Queen, I love the Queen. Hi, Queen. Yes, we love the Queen. We have nothing bad to say about her. Oh, but we're going to talk about all those things that she represents. It makes no sense. And that's what they have done. That is exactly what they have done. So for me, it just made everything that I have always said about the behavior, the character, the choices of Harry and Meghan, it's just really reaffirmed even stronger. How dare you do that? How dare you do that? I mean, I'm American and I can see that's wrong. That is wrong. So that's just all I'm going to say about that. But it's a great documentary, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the lady Jean Gasho. She is a remarkable lady. I think she has this really great blog where she talks about the comparisons between the things that Meghan has done and bringing in the correlation between her living in a Commonwealth country and also as a woman of color. She draws some really good parallels between the two and interjects her opposition to the things that Meghan has been doing and saying. So let's dive into it. Dear Meghan, as you have made it your life destiny to destroy this country's heritage and crown, whilst you still wear your own version of the crown they gave you, I stand here on British soil claiming my birthright. As the majority of Black people reading my articles cannot comprehend my love for Britain, they think this is some form of insanity. On my part, because if I am black, I am supposed to hate Britain and love Africa. They keep telling me that British people will never love me or accept me. But Meghan, I want you to know that way before you came on the scene, I did serve my country, even through my pencil without seeking love or validation from anyone. And she shows some really beautiful pictures that she has drawn, and they're very, very good. So as you brand yourself as the ultimate racial victim of the British royal family, yet you claim to not know about their history, let me school you for a minute on some racial British history in the monarchy. There once was a woman, fully black, with black skin and nappy hair. A woman more honorable than you can ever be. She faced true hardships. She was taken away from her people and family when she was only 5 and held as a prisoner. She was one of true noble birth, a daughter of an African chief. That woman was Sarah Forbes Bonetta. The Queen paid for Sarah to be educated and saw her several times in the space of a few years. Sarah, a highly intelligent girl, developed a particular talent for music. She married in 1862 and later had a daughter, Victoria, to whom the Queen acted as godmother. The remarkable woman became a black British royal and was treated as such by the Queen. I am sure life was very hard for her. She had to adjust to life here in England, especially at that time when her people were in bondage. But history speaks kindly of this young woman. She took with grace and dignity what life threw at her and became the best version of herself on British soil, learning music and serving her country. She got married, had children, and lived her happily ever after. And that's the ironic thing about Meghan Markle. When you look at the idea that this is supposed to be a strong woman, Meghan is supposed to be someone who is persevering through life. And the thing is that Meghan hasn't set a good example for any of the young girls that I'm sure she's going to want to someday be a role model for. She went into an institution that was completely different than what she was accustomed to. And what did she do when things got difficult? She bailed. She left. She didn't persevere. And what we're seeing from this example about Sarah Forbes Bonetta is that she embraced something that was completely different from who she was. She knew that it wasn't going to be what she was accustomed to, but she was able to go into a situation and make it her own. She persevered. And that is the example that you want to show people, that when you make a commitment to do something, when you are thrust into a situation that challenges you, that's like, I'm not sure I'm liking this situation. Well, what do? You reevaluate. Otis. Mr. Otis is over there trying to get into stuff. What do you do when you find yourself, in a situation that is challenging and hard? You try to, as a leader, essentially, be the best that you can in that difficult circumstance and show that you can overcome any challenges. You can overcome something that is very difficult. And so the idea and the fact that Meghan didn't survive in her tough situation just goes to show that she never really intended to stay. And there's so many things that you can really look at to see behind everything that has happened with Meghan, to know that she is pulling the wool over people's eyes. She is not being real. She is not being authentic. Where she is, I will never stand up and lie that I got here by myself. And that is such a good point she makes. Okay, bye, Mr. Otis. She makes the really good point that Meghan essentially is saying that everything that she has, she's done by herself. She's gotten it on her own terms. And she has never acknowledged that the help that she received from her father has gotten her to where she is now. But like Jean here is saying, she will never say that. If my father, she goes on to say, if my father was not whom he is today, or socially connected to the most powerful people in the kingdom, if he was not chief mutada, I would not be where I am today. And that is such another key point, because Meghan has yet to recognize that everything that she has gotten in return from the early years of her career started with her father. And if it weren't for her father giving her that support as a young person, helping her to have those connections, because we know her father was a lighting director. He's an award-winning lighting director who knows many people in the industry. He helped her to get some of her first acting jobs, because I've always said it's about the relationships. It's about the people that you know. And if you think that you are just going to waltz into anything and solely get it just because you're not telling the truth about yourself and your circumstances, because a lot of things in life that people get when they are successful is because they've been given a break by that one special person, or they had a connection to the right people. And it's when luck meant being ready and prepared, and it blossomed. But if you are missing either one of those components, it's going to be a lot harder for you to blossom and to have that career success, most specifically in the entertainment industry, because you just have to have those relationships and know people. And Meghan essentially is saying she is not acknowledging any of her father for anything that he has done for her. And Jean goes on to say that she knows that she is where she is because of the help of her father. And you just have to look at the differences here. You just have to be able to see that you can't perpetrate your way through life and act like you just got there because. And we can see what's going on here. We can see it. So, I'm not going to read the whole article. It is a really good article. I will leave the information to the website in my description below. And also, she has some other good things that she writes about. Another headline. Let me find that. Most recently, why, as a black woman, I no longer support Black Lives Matter. That's the most recent one. But then she says, why selfish-serving Meghan Markle will always be part of my testimony. This is a lady who has got the pen to write about things and really bring in a story that is teaching you. She is really giving people some things to think about as she writes and correlates her personal life to the circumstances that she sees with Meghan Markle, because there are a lot of teachable things in what is happening with Meghan, because you can see someone who has been gifted an opportunity of a lifetime, and she is using it to serve herself. And it says a lot when you can't take the gift that you have and to give that to those who are less fortunate and to essentially help them. But all it seems to be that Meghan is wanting to do is to serve herself in her own interest. Thus, her leaving Great Britain because she could not handle it. There is nothing wrong with Meghan Markle wanting to serve herself, do things for herself. Most people work very hard to be successful in life. The problem I see is how she is going about it. Lying, using vulnerable people as a stepping stool to her success, destroying relationships of people and families who cared about her, forgetting where she comes from, misrepresenting herself culturally to benefit herself financially, and the list goes on and on and on. And this is why she will never get the respect of a lot of people who come from harder circumstances, because we can see what Meghan has thrown away and why she's thrown it away. It's laughable that you can think that this woman could be a role model to anybody. And all the people that get behind her, and the Oprah Winfreys and the Gayle Kings, those people who really are not looking at Meghan Markle for who she really is, are choosing not to do that. They're choosing not to look at her for who she is, because in some roundabout way, perhaps, Meghan is serving something to help them and their own personal need for selfish behavior. Right? So there are things that Meghan has done that Oprah in her other years of speaking on her talk show would have called out or said something about it, but she's choosing not to. And we can see this young lady here, Jean, who is from Africa, and Oprah Winfrey has a school in Africa, so I'm sure she's got some connections to the women there, and she knows the behavior of Meghan is not acceptable, because the majority, it looks like, of the black women in Africa can see Meghan for who she really is. And Oprah, having the school that she has there, the connections to the women there, she knows the struggles. So as she's given this interview to Meghan, she has to be thinking to herself of the girls that she has in Africa, in her school, in South Africa, in her school, that are coming from essentially nothing, but it's only through their education that they're ever going to really make anything of themselves. And here you have this privileged woman in America who doesn't even really look like a black woman complaining. But the girls in Africa, South Africa, like, they got a lot more cause for complaining, but they're persevering. They're getting their education. They're making it work for them. So it just seems to me disingenuous of someone of an Oprah caliber to not really call it out unless there's an underlying reason why. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what that is. I don't know. I know it has to do something with her working with Harry, wanting to keep that relationship probably in good standing. Maybe she's talking to Meghan on, like behind the scenes, like, Meghan, girl, you shouldn't be doing that. What you doing? Like, why you acting like this? Like, keeping it real with her. Like, keep it real. Is Oprah keeping it real? I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is just one of those things that she's just going to look the other way. Like, what? Lies? 17 lies from that Oprah interview that I did? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. But we just going to look the other way. We just going to say, oh, we got 90 more minutes to put out. We're going to distract. We're going to say, oh, we ain't going to talk about the lies. We 90 more minutes. Yeah, we're going to talk about the other 90 minutes. We ain't even going to pay attention to those things coming out about the lies now. So there's some distraction going on. And we got to call it out. We got to say something, because we are missing our moments of learning and being better and knowing that Meghan is behaving in a way that you should not behave. And this young girl is really calling it out. She's a great artist. She's putting her pen to paper. And she is really going to take to charge the hypocrisy that Meghan is spewing. Because to me, I think it's dangerous to have Meghan on this platform and trying to rally up all this support behind her lies and her mistruths. Like, that's what it is. Like, she trying to talk the truth, but it's really a lie. She's saying it's her truth, but it's a lie. Like, we can see it go out this way and come out this way. It ain't coming together. commitment to do something, when you are thrust